Hi everyone, today I want to be doing something a little bit more spontaneous. Since I've planned and scripted all my other videos, today I just want to go with the flow and give you some information about what are my thoughts in this moment and can help anyone really treat their thoughts and being able to use them to push them towards taking the right actions to achieve their goals and also to have a positive mindset, to feel good, improve happiness and all. So I've been into self-development for quite some years now, and there are a lot of findings that I put my finger on, and so I experimented with some of them or not at all, and it's not really about what we do with them. It's just to make sure that we keep doing actions towards getting better. So I think that's one of the things that people have the most problem with, is that they start self-development and they don't see quick results. And I don't think it's intended to be oriented with quick results. Sometimes it happens. There have been some times where I read a single book and it changed my life for the best a few weeks. So it's, of course, it depends. From time to time, sometimes some resources can be very beneficial while others don't work out so well. For me, I think there's someone around me who told me a few years back, life is not complicated. It's just us humans that complicate it. And that really resonated with me because today I see it really clearly. It's not really that we create the problems. It's that we don't manage our thoughts. And negative thoughts are really harmful for happiness and for getting us into taking action. So that was pretty much my story, where I really started listening to myself, actually learning to know myself better. This little voice in your head. Sometimes, you can start a project and it says to you, I don't know, I'm not sure I want to do this today. Let's do X instead. Stay in your comfort zone. And so that's been a big part of my success in the last few years. I think I've gone from being kind of a kid, not really taking my adult responsibilities, and actually growing up quite fast to today, where I don't just take my adult responsibilities really seriously, but also I have some side projects. I make sure that I maximize happiness for myself, but also for those around me. I make sure that everyone feels respected, satisfied, happy around me. So I think that's a plus. Of course, I'm still at the start of my journey, but I think I've progressed quite fast, and I'm really happy about where I'm at the moment. So thoughts are really important because sometimes we don't notice how we talk to ourselves. So I see a lot of people saying to themselves, I'm not good at maths, or I've never been good at swimming. I'm not, I don't know, I'm good at strength training, but cardio is not my strong suit. So all of these messages, of course, for some they can be real, but it's mostly about comfort zone. It's not because you haven't done cardio training in your life that you are not able to achieve much in this domain. You could probably participate in some quite serious races if you put your mind to it. But just blocking yourself at I'm not good at running or I'm not good at math is quite a big commitment to giving yourself the limits that you don't deserve. Everyone really needs to give themselves credit because we all achieve pretty amazing things because, of course, when we compare ourselves to the big minds of our societies or, the inventors or billionaires, sometimes we can feel minimized. But at the same time, there are some big celebrities that have achieved really impressive feats in the field of business. But if you compare, for example, your social life, how well you have constructed your friendships and your links between your family members and, the teamwork between you and your children, or, it can be pretty impressive compared to those celebrities because they haven't focused their attention on the same things. So I think we all have to give ourselves credit where it's due, and that's one of the things that we don't really account for when we put our mind on big ambitious goals. So in the past few years, there have been a lot of projects, writing books or creating a brand new board game that I wanted to start. But the real big one for me was always starting this YouTube channel. So now I'm really happy because it has been such a fun thing to do over time. I've learned a lot, and of course, the other kind of videos that I make are more informational, very instructive. And so I put myself in this role of a mentor that's trying to teach you guys something. And of course, it doesn't resonate with everybody, but I think maybe this kind of format can bring me down to earth and really give you a closer look at how I feel, where I'm at, and what I'm really trying to accomplish. So let me take a little chance to share with you what are my goals with this channel. So the first one, I think, is to really help people to understand how precious life is with all the opportunities that we have. Of course, some people have trauma, but I think everyone can really work through them and being able to enjoy life as it is. And the other thing is to really help you to push your limits to achieve anything that you really want to. So, of course, it can be achieving a specific job type, but it could also be being the next Elon Musk or, being a really good professional athlete. So there's really no limit to where you can direct yourself. Maybe at some point you're going to notice some limits, or maybe you're going to notice, if I want to go even higher in this domain, it's going to cost me X and Y. But at this point, you're going to have to make a choice. Do you want to take it even more serious than you are? Or do you want to keep it like a little bit more casual, like leisure type stuff? So one example was my journey in video gaming. So when I was a teenager, I wanted to become a pro gamer, really, really strong, beating all my friends and, eventually winning money at tournaments. But so I had quite a reality check, actually, when I realized what it took for those pro players, those pro gamers, to attain the level they were at. Not only in time, because I think I wasn't putting a lot of time in video games, and it was not really the issue, but it was the dedication, the hard work, really working in hardship, and always having this conqueror mindset and pushing yourself to the limit, noticing all the little mistakes that you make, and creating, innovating drills for you to improve in those particular domains, really analyzing your play, focusing on what you're doing. And so I started doing some of those at some point, but really putting myself into this hardship mode was out of my reach. I was not really achieving anything. And I saw at one point I saw what it took, but I didn't want to invest all my soul into this. I realized that I wanted to have a wife, eventually have kids. It's still in my project. I wanted to experience the world of work, working for an employer, and that I did. And actually, it's a lot better than I thought when I was a teenager. So of course, I suggest that you at least try before just going all into a particular discipline. I think it's worth it to try, but also to know myself, because if I've gone into this route, I would not truly know who Michael Moses was. I would have improved my hardship skills really fast, and to a point where pretty much nothing would have held me back in other spheres of work, I guess. But I was not ready to sacrifice all of the rest just to go into this route. So one of the most important life lessons that I made, and I really don't regret it. I took it a little bit slower, kept going to school, not particularly getting strong notes or strong scores, kind of drifting through life, still having a lot of leisure time. But at some point, when I went into the world of work, really like, not prestigious, not really prestigious, but not working my first few student job. I attained some kind of higher level position, not a high position, not like a vice president, but still I've incorporated teams of professional, and it was a really interesting experience. And I felt outclassed. It felt really hard at first because I was just getting off of the school bench and jumped right into the action. So at some point it was pretty hard, but after a few experiences, I learned some basic skills. I learned even more that hardship was important, so I focused a lot of my attention on this. And at first, it was so uncomfortable. And I think this is one of the key words that I use the most, like the comfort zone and being uncomfortable. But actually, it's one of the notions that's really important in my journey is to always put myself in front of uncomfortable situations, just like I'm doing right now. I'm talking to you guys, but actually I'm in front of my camera, and it doesn't really feel comfortable. I'm not used to that. I feel like it's weird, you know. I'm just hearing my voice, and of course, I think I have kind of a good self-esteem, and I think my ideas are worth sharing. But yeah, it's I still need some getting used to this. If I don't do it, I'll never improve. I'll never become better at this. So I just have to jump in, and that was basically my challenge of the day. So I jumped in, and here I am. This is my first take. I did not try anything beforehand, and this is the first draft. So let me know how you like this. Let me know if there is anything you'd like me to improve in this. I'd be glad to check this out. So there are a lot of other subjects that I can talk about in this channel. I'm mainly interested, like I said, in helping you see life as this beautiful experience where you can become better versions of yourselves. I really become proud, not stay in shame or guilt, or, mostly positive emotions. And also I can talk about pretty much anything psychology related, like honesty, hard work. There's so much things I'd like to talk about, but also productivity, especially tools for productivity or systems. I did some videos already in the past few weeks that go over how I schedule my time, and also how I see really the world behind it and how it reflects my identity into my schedule and my planning. So yeah, finding purpose, of course, trying to set up goals and taking the steps needed to achieve them. So I think these are really important things to do. Also, recently I've started the book How to Set Boundaries or something like that by Melissa Lauren. And yeah, it's quite a good read, but at the moment I'm at the point where she explained some of the concepts, and but she was going to give a lot of examples in which she gives her expertise of how we should approach the thing. But I just want to get my own take. So I started journaling about this. So every time I have some kind of meaningful conversation with someone where I think I could have set boundaries, I just take note of them and try to see what are my initial strategies to set the boundaries. And after a while, I'm just going to go through this book and see if it was right or if her approach is different. So I'm really curious to see how it goes. Another of my good reads of the moment, because I just cannot read a single book and finish it and then go to the next. It's something I have a really hard time with, and I'm happy to read many books at the same time, actually. So that's one of the things. So I could make some book reviews, but yeah. So let's go in. The second book is What Happened to You from, I think it's a doctor, and it's co-authored by Oprah Winfrey. So it talks a lot about trauma, especially in childhood, and it goes over what kind of effect trauma has for the rest of your life. So for example, if you work and you see some you see someone have a weird behavior around you, when, for example, your boss gives you a project, but maybe the other one wanted it more, or he showed to the boss that he wanted more this kind of project, but he still gives it to you. maybe your colleague just acts really weird and it's like unexplainable. He's not respectful, or you know how people can be sometimes. This book goes over how trauma can affect people like this, so we can have more compassion when they really have some kind of outburst, no matter what kind of behavior that they have. We can better understand and be more compassionate and adapt our discussions and behaviors around them to make everyone feel better. So this is my second book, which is quite interesting, also in the self-development, and one aspect that, well, I still feel a little bit shameful about it, but Oprah Winfrey, I just learned when I started reading this book that she's a really influential self-development personality, especially like I think she's the biggest in the world of women in this domain. But I actually didn't know. I just thought she was a celebrity, so some kind of singer or actress. So this was one of my discoveries in 2023, and it's I'm not really proud of that, but I think it was quite a funny thing to learn at such a old age. So yeah, sorry about that, Oprah, but your book is really interesting. Yeah, thanks for writing that. So also I just finished a book on strength training. It was from Lou Chester. What's the name of it? It's New Rules of Lifting, and I think it's the version about especially for strength training. So I'll link it in the description, of course. And there is another one. It's a book on swimming, because I actually, when it starts to get a little bit more cold in the winter here, well, running is not very much viable, and I don't particularly love gyms, so I said to myself, oh, swimming is also a good sport, so I'm just gonna start trying to do that, and yeah, I'll keep you updated on that if you're interested. So I started strength training, I think it was 3 weeks ago, and it's going pretty well. I'm not ripped in any means. I'm still very unmuscular, I would say. And I still see some improvements. I'll see even more when we finish December and at the start of the new year. So I actually started this resolution even before time is due. So I'm happy about that. So these are like 2 books about sport. I try to stay as active as possible in the health domain, since health is so important. It gives us energy, it gives us security, it gives us ability to move things and move our body everywhere we want to go. So I give a lot of importance to health, especially in this year. In the past, I had a little bit more problems about physical activity in particular. Nutrition is not so bad. It never really has been, but especially physical activity was quite hard for me in the past. But I think I'm at the point where I'm really comfortable to go and do some sport. So that's I'm really proud of that. And the last book is actually a gift from my stepmother. It's the first biography that I've started to read, and it's one of my favorite personalities of the world. I think it's no surprise, but I really like Elon Musk, and his biography really lives to the man. So I think it's really interesting to learn more about him in his youth, in his few first work experiences in college, and even going further. So now I'm at the point where he starts funding SpaceX. So I can't wait to read more about it. So I'll keep you updated on that also. Maybe do some kind of review at the end. And if you want to see reviews of the other videos, feel free to ask. I can of course create some kind of reviews. It would be really a pleasure for me. So yeah. Well, also we're the 1st of December, so I think it's important to think about the holidays. I know people don't really talk about Christmas much because people are not so religious, but yeah, I think it's quite interesting to know more about religion. Not saying that you should read the Bible or like pray to God, but if you don't know anything about it, it's quite an interesting story, and it's a really rich story also. A lot of culture, a lot of experiences have been encountered in the past because of this. So yeah, I think it's worth getting interested to this. And also, it's the time of the year where we give some gifts and especially give love to our loved ones. So make sure that you tell your mom, your dad, your children that you love them, and not particularly with gifts, but more with words. Try to use your words as good as you can to make them understand why you like them. So that's one of the things I do in my journal. Also, I try to give a lot of gratitude for all the wonderful people that are around me. So I suggest you do the same. So yeah, I'm happy about how the video is going. So if you have any suggestion, make sure that you tell me in the comment section. And also, if you want to support the channel, make sure that you like and subscribe. I will post more videos like this. I will post also more informational videos like I did in the past few weeks. The next one is actually going to be about, I think it was something that Andrew Tate said. It's really interesting. It's about our thoughts, like trying to mold our thoughts into something that is working for ourselves. So for example, if you say, I'm not good in math, well, how can you really expect to get better in math? If you tell yourself instead, I am limitless, I can learn anything I put myself to, well, math is not an issue. You can just start reading about math, start reading, start doing some exercises, and you will grow. You will eventually know how to do math, even really advanced maths. So the limits that you set yourself, they only come from within. If they are set from something else, something external, you can notice it, but it's not for you to say, oh, I cannot go higher than this. It's the nature will do it, not God, not anything else, but it's higher than our human understanding. So you cannot really set yourself those limits. You need to live through them. You need to push yourself. You need to go over those limits, and eventually you're gonna just find it there laying. So I think the most important thing is to at least try. So thank you again, everyone, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. I'll see you in the next one.